Asexuality, all things asexual, and I share my own asexual life journey in order to help you in yours. If you haven't already subscribed, please hit that great big subscribe button right here, right now. Please hit that bell icon so you get notified of every time I go live like now or post a new video. So yes, you might have noticed my hair's blowing in the wind. I am live in Exeter at the moment, out on the Cathedral Green. So yeah, let's spin you around so you can see the cathedral. So it's really, really beautiful. It's a gorgeous day in Exeter, in the UK this is. So loads and loads of people come here to chill out. And it's really, really magnificent city. It's got quite a lot of history, Exeter has. You might notice that on some of the buildings, they've got very, very old kind of architecture and stuff like that. So it's very, very historical and really, really good. So yeah, sometimes it's just really good to chill out and get away from really highly sexualized stuff. Being asexual myself, I'm sex repulsed. Even though I've had sex in the past, I'm not interested in that anymore. It doesn't do anything for me. I'm just really like repulsed personally for me, not for other people, and so I'm just like really turned off by that. So I try and fill my life full of wonderful things that have got nothing to do with sexual stuff, and you know, it's just really good to get away from a highly sexualized world and to just chill out. Now, of course, there are loads of people here. Most of them are probably heterosexual, but of course, you know, like they're just chilling out, chatting, doing things that I like to do as an asexual person, you know, like chatting with friends, you know, hanging out, having food together, having drinks together, you know, having good conversation and stuff like that. So I really do like the atmosphere here. I feel that everyone's kind of like just here to have fun and chill out and relax. It's a very, very beautiful place. I feel very honoured to live in Exeter. If the sound's not very good on this, it's because it's quite windy, even though it's really sunny here. So I do apologise for that. But yeah, you know, like I try to always watch movies with no sex in them if I can find them, which I find a lot of in my no sex movie reviews. You can watch that playlist. It's very popular. And obviously, I don't watch TV. So I literally, if I'm going to have my TV on, I've got it all wired up to the Blu-ray player. So I just literally put discs on of movies and which predominantly have no sex in them. Even if there are sex, they're just like implied sex. Usually, the majority of the time, not actually showing the full sex scenes. So that's good. So yeah, I really like, you know, non-sexual fun, you know, hanging out with friends, chatting, sharing secrets, you know, kind of like non-sexual intimacy, you know, where you really get to know someone's personality. You really get to know people on a really caring and personality level, which I think is the best way to be. You know, people should be with people for their personality and friends with their personality, because at the end of the day, looks can change and hearts usually are very important. You know, if you've got people around you that've got very kind hearts, it does make the world a much, much better place, you know. And you know, when you come to a place like this, and obviously you've got mixed sexuality identities, but everyone's just chilling out, and you know, there's no like sexual stuff going on that I can tell of. It just makes it life a lot more better and pleasurable, you know, to enjoy the beautiful sun together, to enjoy people's company, even if I'm not directly talking to anyone, and it just makes for a better life, really. Like some people who are heterosexual, they're like, oh, so how do you spend your days? A bit like they're so surprised if I'm not having sex, you know, like, what am I filling my time with? Because that's so important to a lot of sexuals. And I'm like, well, you know, I do writing and I do YouTubing, I do blogging, you know, I see my friends, I go to theme parks, zoos, aquariums, out for meals, you know, to the cinema, and to the cinema. And so, you know, I just have non-sexual fun, you know, I do things that other people would do in sexual relationships, but without the sex and without sexual stuff and without sexual innuendo, you know. And so for me, I really love my life. I feel it's really loads of fun. I pack a lot into it as much as I can. Obviously, my ankle's still got the broken ankle injury at the moment. It's getting a lot better, but you know, it's not strong. Like even my right leg that's meant to be strong is weaker at the moment, so I've got to work on that. probably go back to using crutches more than the boot. I've got to, so yeah. But just using the boot alone, I tried it for like the last week. It's putting a huge strain on my better ankle. So yeah. But you know, like even so, I still went to the aquarium the other day. Still saw 2 movies. With my friend Vanessa. Still went out for 2 meals. So I did a lot, especially to say I've got a damaged ankle. So I was quite proud of me to do all that. You know, and it's wonderful hanging out with Vanessa for my birthday. She's asexual too, so you know, there's none of that sexual stuff. And when I did have guys that were inboxing me, I was talking to her a bit about them, and she's like, "Oh my god!" And I'm like, "Yeah, exactly. They're just so sex filled, and it's just like their whole mind's geared towards around sex, and it's just like really, like quite shocking. You know, it's very like, you know, that's what their life revolves around. They're so desperate for it, and I'm like, you know, I just don't get what the big deal is in terms of I'm not interested, and she's like that as well, you know. And it's like we've got better things to be talking about, better things to be doing with our life, you know, and just having chats about, you know, life and study and writing and feelings and, you know, our different lives and different cultures and different interests and different hobbies and, you know, all that type of thing. And I just think, you know, the world's a much better place for diversity, and when you've got really good company with friends, you know, without any sexual stuff going on, I just think it's so much better, you know. Like I tend to have more male friends in general, usually than female, but lately I'm getting more used to female company. Vanessa's amazing. She's definitely female, identifies as female. So yeah, I had an amazing time with her. I felt really could relate to her really well. So it does help that she's in her 20s, because my mindset's 21, you know. So yeah, it's really good. And so yeah, I just encourage you, if you're an asexual person who just gets really fed up with all the sexual stuff, you know, is to like literally just stop watching TV, or at least stop watching it as much. You know, like I don't read magazines, I don't read newspapers where all the sexual imagery is. So you can cut that out for your life. Like I feel like most of the time I'm not too exposed to sexual stuff, apart from when I talk to sexual guys, you know, heterosexual guys do dating. That's the time I'm mostly exposed to it. It's like, oh, it's just too much, you know. I get guys going, I got one guy the other day going, oh, you know, he accepted the fact I don't want sex, I don't like it, and then he's there going, oh, but I'm in the shower, we can do a video call now, you can see how strong I am. I'm like, I'm not interested. Blocked, obviously, because I don't want to see a guy's private parts, you know. I'm not interested in that. I don't get at all why women like to see that. I don't think it's particularly attractive at all to look at aesthetically whatsoever, you know. I like a guy's face, not below the waist. That's what I always say. So, you know, but it's nice to just get out, be out of my flat, especially when it's beautiful weather. I've been to physio today, so I was out anyway. Rather than getting a taxi back home, I got a taxi there. I thought I'd try and go into the city and just walk around a little bit, but obviously I keep stopping. I've been into the Mac store because I'm going to have to get a new Mac in the future, as well as keep my current one, which is like vintage. So that was very interesting. Yeah, and I just thought I'd chill out with some sunshine. It's good to like breathe, it's good to relax and have fun, because if we're just like working all the time, it can get very intense and pressurizing, and it can feel like that's all we've got in our life, you know what I mean, and it can just stop the momentum. Sometimes it's good to actually have a break and then get back to it. Other times it's difficult to get back into it because you lose momentum. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword. But I think, you know, in order to increase productivity, we do need breaks. We do need to live in the now, because if we're too living in the future, and if we're too focused on building a future but we're not living now, then, you know, time is just passing by, and, you know, we might have regrets. And so I believe in living a life that has no regrets whatsoever. It's very interesting because I've been contacted by 2 guys from Asexuality. .com dating website for asexuals. One guy, it wasn't suitable. He likes outdoors, hiking, nature and all that. Well, I'm not into that. But he's British as far as I know. And the other guy contacted me a couple of days ago. I replied to him last night. I think he's British as well. But I did actually put in my profile, which I've got to put in there, that I could consider a British guy, because my last actual boyfriend was British. But obviously, technically speaking, I mean, I did date 2 guys, asexual guys, online, but, you know, well, the first one, I don't even know if I can't date him. Like, he said about a relationship, and I'm like, well, yeah, and then I'm like, within 24 hours, no, because I can't do online relationships. And the other guy, I was online dating, but he told everyone we're in a relationship. So, but before that, actually, officially in a relationship, was a British guy. But yeah, it didn't work out with him. But yeah, I still had fun while I was going out to the aquarium and doing things with him, so that was good. Very much not asexual, so probably would never have worked. But yeah, he had difficulties that were too difficult to be in a relationship with. But yeah, so yeah, I do know that if possible I could be the British guy, just I'm usually far more attracted to foreign guys than Indian, as you know. I told my physio today that I liked his spiky hair. I think he might have thought I fancied him, but it's just his hair I liked. I don't really fancy him. I said, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say it because it's not very professional, but I just like your hair because I like spiky hair. But obviously he's not going to be asexual, so he'll probably have taken that as a fancy, but I just liked his hair. It's like, can you just chop your hair off, please, because I just want to look at your hair. That's what I felt like saying, but I didn't. I can hardly turn around and go, well, I'm not really into you and I don't really fancy you, but I just like your hair. I thought that might have sounded even worse, because I didn't actually say I fancied him, I just sort of like his hair. But you know, sexual guys probably take it a bit the wrong way, probably. But yeah, physio was a bit painful today because he was, you know, squeezing my foot, ankle bone area. I'm like, oh my god. The other side of my ankle, it's very weird. It hurt. But yeah. But so it's nice to, after you've had physio and you've had a quite strenuous session, to just chill out and relax as well. But I do encourage you, if you're asexual, you know, you find that the intensity of the highly sexualized world is just too much for you to, like, you know, go to asexual meetups, even if you have to like go out of your way to go to asexual meetups. I see so many people in groups and they're just like, oh, well, there's no asexuals near me. You have to be prepared to travel, get out of your comfort zone and travel to an asexual meetup, because it will be worth it just to meet other asexuals. You know, to experience the in-person experience of being with people who are like-minded, who you can relate to, who you can have non-sexual fun with. It's just an incredible experience, and I would encourage every single person here to like actually try it at least once. You know, because people will travel abroad on a plane and they don't think twice about it. Like, oh, they'll travel like, you know, for hours on a plane, yet, you know, half an hour, or 2.5 hours on a train, people moan about, and I'm like, why? You know, you can spend like 4, 5, 6, 7 hours on a plane, but you won't spend 2.5 hours on a train to meet like-minded people. It just seems bizarre to me, you know, absolutely bizarre. You might travel to a theme park far away. You might travel to, even in the UK, you might travel quite far away to go on a holiday. But you know, you can travel far for just a day. I'll go to London and spend 2.5 or 3.5 hours on a train there and back, so it's like 5 or 6 hours. But you know, I'm doing that on the 31st of May when I'm going to see Frozen, because I'm going to have a blast when I get there. It's something I really want to do, and it's going to be worth it, you know. And I just would encourage you, if you really feel like you haven't met any asexuals in person, you feel kind of like lonely, left out, or you just feel like you want, you know, the reality in an offline world of asexuality, then I would go to Meetup. It's going to really inspire you. It's going to really help you. And if you find it's not for you, fair enough. You know, it's not for everyone. Some people go and they're like, oh, yeah, I don't feel I fit in. And maybe it's just because it's not their time to feel that way. Like, they're just new to asexuality. They're still discovering, exploring about themselves. Or maybe it's just, you know, they just don't feel right in that particular group. But more and more people that come into my meetups, like, I find them very beneficial and want to come back and want to do more and more of them. So, you know, it's very important that, you know, you do be around like-minded people who understand you, who care about you, who, you know, you can laugh and joke and be happy with without having any sexual connotation whatsoever. But once you experience it, I think, you know, you'll be like, oh, that's incredible. You know, it feels different. You know, so if you're trying to get away from the highly sexualized society we live in, but you're trying to still kind of like do other things and have a life, if you know what I mean, because obviously a lot of the world is geared towards sexuality, being heterosexual, which a lot of people are, but still there's a quite a lot of people that aren't these days, you know, but still the majority sexuality. So, you know, it can be really difficult to get away from that, you know, but it means like doing things different, like stopping watching TV, stopping watching like certain movies, stop reading certain magazines, stop reading certain newspapers, just cut it out. If you like, I don't want it, don't cut it out. You know, to me, there's no storyline that's more important than me, you know, cutting off that when I feel uncomfortable and it makes me feel sick and I don't want to see it. You know, I'd rather not watch a movie that has nudity in it than go through all that if it's going to make me feel really sick and ill and poorly, you know. Some little bits I can stack if it's just like a backside or something like that, or you know, it's not full on frontal, that's a bit more able to hack. But even then, I'd rather see films that didn't have anything like that in it whatsoever, because you know, it's just really like unnecessary for me, totally unnecessary. But you know, each to their own, as it were. But yeah, so go out, enjoy yourself, have fun with asexual friends, have fun self-dating. Some people are like, what is self-dating? Self-dating is when you specifically set time aside in your calendar to go to a certain place or do a certain thing with yourself as a date. So it's like, if you were going out on a date with someone, what would you do? You might dress up in your best clothes, you'll make sure you're there in plenty of time, you'll make sure you spend quality time with that person by switching off your phone, you make sure you know, if it's a romantic date, you'll be feeling romance and stuff like that. So I just do that with myself, but it's very specific. It's not like, oh, I'm hungry now, I've popped into this cafe because I just need to eat. It's planned and it's intentional, it's on the calendar, and you've decided that's where you're going to spend some quality time with you on a self-date, because it's good for your soul and to connect with you and to feel your asexuality and to know that it's okay. It's okay to be asexual. It's okay if you don't like sex. Some asexuals do feel that sex is fine, and that's good too for them. But if you're an asexual who feels left out, that the world just doesn't accept you, then I'm here to say that you are valid, you are very much appreciated, and I think it's really good there are a proportion of people in the world that don't want, like, or need sex. I think it's very important, because we need balance in society, we need balance in life, and it wouldn't do for us all to be the same. It'd be a miserable existence if everyone was the same, right? And so know that you're valid, you're beautiful just as you are, and I really appreciate you in this life, and you deserve to be here, and you're absolutely incredible, and I really appreciate you. And you know, never ever give up on life and think you don't deserve to be here just because you're asexual, or that no one understands you, because there are people that do understand you. When I found out I was asexual in 2014, oh my gosh, I was just so happy. You know, like when I found other people like me, I was just like, my God, this is so incredible. You know, there are actually people like me who don't want, like, or need sex in a relationship. And I just found that so invigorating, so inspiring, and so beautiful in my soul. And I felt so relieved, I can't tell you. Because I just felt like I was the only person in the whole world, planet, and universe like this. And I was never ever going to just fit in or have anyone to relate to or be able to even consider a relationship with anyone or dating scenario with anyone anymore. But now I know I can. So, you know, it's kind of like my life's completely changed for the better forever. I've come to understand myself better, my body better, how my feelings better, what I want and don't want in a relationship better, all because I found out my asexual identity. And it's, you know, it's truly changed my life for the better forever. I love being asexual, and I thank you for being part of my asexual online family community here at YouTube. I really appreciate you. I'm going to love you and leave you for now. I'll just spin you around one more time so you can see the beautiful cathedral and the beautiful chimes. Can you hear the chimes, like the church chimes? They're absolutely gorgeous. You know, so beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. Thank you so much for being here. I love you lots, and I'll see you on the next video live stream. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please share a comment below. I'd love to know what you think of this video. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that great big bell icon so you get notified of every time I go live like now, I post a new video. Mwah! Lots of love to you. Take care. Bye.